Sure. I didn't have a question ready yet. Yeah, I'll start. Um, Coach, final preparations. Any word if this thing's still happening with so many uncertainties with college football and with Virginia Tech this week, or you guys full steam ahead at this point?
Full steam ahead.
Gibby, you have anything?
Yeah, Coach, Lane Stadium's supposed to be an awesome place to watch a football game. But for it not to be rocking on Saturday, is that an advantage for you guys a little bit? And what will it be like, in your estimation, to see that place not like it normally is?
You know, I've been there one other game, and there was lightning in pregame, and so it was empty when we came into the stadium that day. So I've never been there for what everybody talks about. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask on that question.
But is it an advantage, not having all the just, I guess, in any arena or stadium that's supposed to be a place that really supports their team? Will it be an advantage for you guys on Saturday?
I don't know if it's an advantage. I mean, I think obviously not having to deal with crowd noise for an offense is something that helps you. I do think that the crazy game day environment's part of what college kids look forward to. So, I feel bad for the kids on both sides that they don't have that. But, from a crowd noise standpoint, it always helps the opposing offense not to have to deal with the noise.
Bridget.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Boo released that a lot of the coaches are going to be cutting their salaries to help out because of the loss of revenue from COVID-19. What does it mean for you to step into that role? And do you feel, honored to be able to help NC State athletics, or is it obviously kind of a situation that you feel like stinks?
Yeah, I mean, no one ever likes losing income that you thought you were going to get, but it's a time where, the school needs us to help, and we understand the pandemic and what it's created fiscally for NC State. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't even have jobs, because of their situation. So that's like, the biggest thing I look at is we have a job, we have a great place to work. We're not going to make what we thought we were, but we still have the same opportunity, and it's a chance for us to help out our university in a time of need.
Mike Topper.
Hey, Coach, I want to go back to something you'd mentioned. I can't remember if it was a few days ago or a few weeks ago, just about preparing for Virginia Tech. And now that we're at Thursday, you've gotten a sense of kind of who they are and some of their abilities. But is it a little maybe frustrating for you knowing that you can prepare for this, but if these guys don't play, you might see guys that you hadn't thought about? As a coach that likes certainty, is that kind of frustrating going into this weekend?
Not really. I mean, I'll be honest, this 2020 has been a year of uncertainty. So it's just kind of what you're used to at this point. Would it be great to know who's going to be out there? Yeah, it would, but that's not where we're at. So I can't dwell on that. We just got to focus on being able to make good adjustments. I think that's the key. We've talked a lot about things that they might do, but we also know there's going to be things they do that we weren't ready for. And like I said last week, you got to build the rules into your systems on both sides of the ball and on special teams to handle things that you don't prepare the guys for, because you have sound rules that the kids understand. And when you get them on the sideline, you make good corrections, you get them to listen, and you go out and you do it better the next time you're on the field.
Chris Lee, what you got?
Hey, Coach, I want to build a little bit off of what Bridget asked you, but there will be some furloughs and layoffs in the athletics department there at NC State. I just wanted to know if, one, if you knew about it. Secondly, any words of encouragement for those folks who are losing their jobs, who are, big supporters of the Wolfpack because they have jobs there, and, just how you guys would try to welcome them back whenever jobs become available again.
There aren't any layoffs that I'm aware of, but there's a lot of salary cuts and furloughs, and so, the biggest message we've given is just that this is the right thing to do for the school. There's an obvious shortage in income that we would generally be able to create that helps run this place. And because we're short, we're all going to have to step up and help things out. I mean, we're all aware that there's a global pandemic and things aren't normal. So, I think for the people that are getting hit the hardest, it's hard. You know, it's really hard. And I think we're all just trying to do the best we can right now to encourage each other and get through this thing and hope that things get better, you know, once we get through this fiscal year.
Andrew Schnicker.
Obviously, Drake Thomas and a lot of the other linebackers had a really good game against Wake Forest. How much of an added importance does that position group take on when you're going against a team like Virginia Tech that thrives on not only running the ball, but having extra options to do so with some mobile quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, they run the QB a lot. So there's a lot of what we call +1 runs where there's one extra blocker involved. And they have a nice design, you know, offensively with their misdirection pieces and the jets that create, you know, things on the edge, and then also the vertical components with the counter and power inside with their quarterbacks and running backs. So you've got to be really detailed. You've got to be sound. It's like option football when it comes to how you defend them. And they do a nice job. You know, having linebackers that you can rotate, that can run and tackle, obviously is a benefit to us right now. You know, in the first game it paid off, and we're going to need those guys to continue to improve. You know, really pleased with how Drake played, since you mentioned him, and I know he's excited. You know, this is a smash mouth game. It's something that fits his style of play, and he's excited about it.
Brett.
I know better than to ask you who the starting quarterback is going to be. So let me just ask you this then. How has Devin progressed this week? And is there any chance that he might get snaps?
Both quarterbacks had a good week of practice. We're excited for both of them. And I can't tell you that. You know, I think the game's going to play out the way it plays out. They're both ready to play and, you know, pleased with how they both prepared this week.
Gibby, you got something else?
Yeah, Coach, I think you touched on this the other day, and I apologize for reliving it, but you normally fly up to Blacksburg, and you said you're going to bus up there. Is that about how many athletes will be in each bus? How many buses you guys taking, and when do you guys actually take off?
We leave tomorrow around 1 o'clock. We have 8 buses. There's 10 players per bus. The bus normally seats 50. And so they're going to be one player in a row of 2 seats, and then an empty row in between them, and then one player. So it's going to be, I guess you'd say, a contact tracing eliminator the way we're busing, so that guys won't have that issue. If, God forbid, we had, you know, someone on their test positive, because we test in the morning, don't get our results probably until we're already up there. So we want to make sure we eliminate the, you know, impact of that if that would happen. You know, there's a couple coaches on each bus, so there's probably 12 people on a bus.
Then I guess you'll be getting back about time for church on Sunday. Is that how that's going to work?
I think we got a 5 a.m. Arrival time coming back home. So, yeah, it's going to be a long night. Hopefully it's, you know, a bus ride home that we're celebrating on.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, you bet.
Jonas, you got something else?
Yeah, Coach, you didn't play. A lot of true freshmen didn't play last week, which I imagine as a coach, that's how you want it going into game one, showing that you're a little bit older. 2-part question here. How did those freshmen do gauging the ones who play? And is that refreshing knowing that you don't have to rely on so many young guys this early in the season?
Yeah, it is. And there's some that played on special teams, you know, as far as offense and defense. You know, Porter Rooks probably played the most snaps of the true freshmen that we signed. But there'll be more and more, you know, as we continue to practice and develop these guys. There's some guys that have a lot of ability, and on special teams in particular, you'll see some more guys flash. I do like getting those guys reps. You know, I think it helps them, and especially if all of a sudden they have to play in a full-time role, to have gotten some reps in a game, whether it's rotating at a position for a couple snaps or getting in on special teams. I do think it helps their confidence as the season moves forward. Do you have, with the rule now that, you know, guys can play four games and then still count as a red shirt, do you guys have like a timetable for, like, okay, we're going to test this guy out for this 4 games, see how he looks, and if he's not performing to where we need him, we'll red shirt him, or just kind of go out throughout the year, you kind of evaluate him and kind of go week to week with it? Well, that's what we would normally do, what you said, but this year this is a 0 year for the whole roster, so there isn't a 4-game thing that you have to worry about right now. Every freshman is going to be a freshman again next year, you know, so in this situation, we're just playing the best guys, and you don't have to really worry about burning a guy's year, because this year doesn't count on their clock.
Okay, I don't see any more hands raised. Everybody good?